Let her choose him. Do not compete. Do not send another paragraph explaining why you are the better man. Do not remind her of everything you sacrificed. Do not insult him. Do not demand that she remember the promises she made when the relationship felt secure. And do not stand in the background hoping their connection fails so you can finally be selected. If she has decided that she wants him, let her make that decision completely, because the moment you begin competing for a woman who is comparing you with another man, you enter a relationship you may spend years trying to survive, years of wondering whether you are enough, years of studying changes in her energy, years of questioning every delayed reply, years of feeling as though one wrong move could make her choose someone else again. You may believe you are losing the woman you love, but you may have just avoided a future in which you were constantly auditioning for a position that should have been offered freely. That does not mean you never cared. It does not mean she is an evil person. It does not mean the other man defeated you. It means her decision gave you information that your feelings did not want to accept. She was not choosing you clearly. And when someone cannot choose you clearly, chasing them harder does not create security. It teaches them that they can remain uncertain while you continue proving yourself. Before this video ends, you will understand why competing with another man usually damages your dignity, what kind of pain you may have avoided by stepping away, and exactly how to respond if she returns after discovering that the choice she made did not give her what she expected. You will also understand the mistake men make when she comes back. It is the mistake that turns them from a respected option into a permanent backup plan. First, understand what her choice does not mean. It does not automatically mean he is better than you. He may have more money. He may be taller, more confident, more socially impressive. He may offer excitement that the relationship with you had temporarily lost, or he may simply be different. People do not always choose partners according to an objective ranking. Relationships are influenced by timing, attraction, emotional availability, compatibility, personal wounds, and what someone believes they need at that stage of life. Her choosing him is not the entire world voting against your worth. It is one person making one decision, a painful decision, but still one decision. The moment you interpret it as proof that he is the superior man, you begin destroying yourself through comparison. You look at his visible strengths and compare them with your private insecurities. You study his photographs, his career, his body, his lifestyle. You imagine that he possesses everything you lack. You assume their private relationship is as perfect as the selected moments you can see. Then you begin measuring your entire identity against a man you may barely know. Stop. You do not need to defeat him. You do not need to understand why she chose every detail of his personality. You do not need to discover what they do together. Every new piece of information becomes another object for your mind to obsess over. The question is not whether he is better. The question is whether you are willing to remain in a triangle where another person's preference controls how you see yourself. A triangle turns love into competition. You stop asking whether the relationship is healthy. You begin asking how to win. You stop observing whether she treats you with respect. You begin performing so she does not leave. You stop deciding whether she fits your life. You become obsessed with proving that you deserve a place in hers. That is where a man loses his center. He becomes more romantic, but not from love, from fear. He becomes more available, but not from generosity, from panic. He starts promising changes he has not built. He accepts behavior he would normally reject. He lowers every standard because the thought of another man receiving her attention feels unbearable. She may say she is confused. He responds by becoming more certain. She says she needs time. He volunteers to wait. She says she wants to explore the other connection. He says he will remain available in case she changes her mind. He believes this shows loyalty. But what is he teaching her? He is teaching her that she can place him second and still receive first place devotion. He is teaching her that his standards disappear when he becomes afraid. He is teaching himself that being near her matters more than respecting himself. Do not enter that arrangement. If she wants to explore something with another man, respect her freedom, but respect your own freedom too. You are free to refuse the triangle. You can say, I respect your decision, but I am not going to remain emotionally involved while you choose someone else. Then step away. No speech, no threat, no prediction that she will regret it. No attempt to make her jealous. Your dignity does not require a dramatic exit. It requires consistent action after the exit. Because many men say they are walking away, then they continue watching. They check her profile. They ask mutual friends whether she seems happy. They study the other man. They wait for signs that the relationship is weakening. They remain physically absent but mentally involved in every moment. That is not walking away. That is waiting outside the relationship. You have not refused the triangle. You have simply moved to a quieter corner of it. Real distance means you stop making their relationship the center of your emotional world. You stop hoping for their pain to become your opportunity. You stop measuring your progress by whether she notices. You stop building yourself as a message directed toward the woman who did not choose you. Your development must belong to you. Now, maybe she did not leave respectfully. Maybe she spoke to him while still committed to you. Maybe she lied. Maybe she compared you to him. Maybe she created jealousy intentionally. Maybe she used the possibility of another man to make you work harder. That kind of behavior can make a man question everything. He replays the timeline. When did it begin? Which conversations were real? Was she thinking about him while sitting beside me? Did she become colder because she had already created another option? These questions can consume entire nights. You search for details because you believe understanding every detail will give you control, but sometimes more information does not create peace. It creates more images for your mind to replay. You may never know the complete timeline. You may never receive an explanation that makes the betrayal feel reasonable. Your healing cannot depend on receiving the perfect confession from the person who hurt you. You need enough truth to make a decision. If trust was broken, trust was broken. If she chose someone else, she chose someone else. If she placed you in competition, the relationship stopped being emotionally safe. You can examine what happened without spending months investigating every hidden detail. There is a difference between learning and torturing yourself. Learning asks, what warning signs did I ignore? Self torture asks, what did they do at every moment I could not see? Learning protects your future. Self torture keeps you trapped in the past. Choose learning. Maybe you noticed her energy changing. She became protective of her phone, less interested in spending time together, more critical of ordinary things you did. She began comparing you with other men. She spoke about needing freedom but still wanted emotional security from you. You felt the shift, but you ignored it because the truth seemed too painful. You told yourself that love required patience. You gave more, you became more accommodating. You believed that if you became perfect enough, she would stop looking elsewhere, but you cannot perform someone into loyalty. You cannot remove another person's uncertainty by destroying your own identity, and you cannot create safety with someone who keeps one foot outside the relationship. If she chooses him, let the choice release you from the endless performance. Because imagine what staying would require. Every time her phone lights up, your body becomes tense. Every period of emotional distance reminds you of what happened. Every disagreement makes you wonder whether she will turn towards someone else. You ask questions, she becomes defensive. You feel guilty for asking, so you suppress your concerns. Then resentment grows. You become controlling because you do not feel safe. She becomes more secretive because she feels controlled. The relationship becomes a cycle of distrust, surveillance, defensiveness, and fear. Could trust ever be rebuilt? Possibly. Some couples repair serious betrayals through accountability, transparency, patience, and consistent change. But one condition is essential: both people must genuinely choose the repair. You cannot rebuild trust while she remains emotionally divided. You cannot repair the relationship while another man is still an option. You cannot heal betrayal while she is asking you to compete for her final decision. If she chooses him, let her go. Not because repair is always impossible, because repair cannot begin until the triangle completely ends and responsibility begins. Do not volunteer to remain available while she discovers which relationship she prefers. You are not a free trial. You are not emotional insurance. You are not the stable man she keeps nearby while exploring excitement elsewhere. If she wants to choose him, she must also experience life without the role you provided, without your daily reassurance, without your support after a difficult day, without your loyalty waiting in the background, without the certainty that she can return whenever the new connection becomes uncomfortable. That is not punishment, it is the natural consequence of her choice. She cannot completely choose him while keeping the safest parts of you. You must refuse that arrangement. She may say, I still want you in my life. Those words can sound compassionate, but ask what role she is offering: friendship, emotional support, someone she can call when she is lonely, someone who remains close enough to provide comfort, but far enough away that she owes no commitment. If you still love her, friendship may become a waiting room. You tell yourself you can handle it. You listen while she speaks about her life. You pretend to be unaffected. You hope that remaining close will remind her of your value. But every conversation feeds hope. Every warm moment becomes a sign. Every conflict she has with him becomes an opportunity inside your imagination. You remain emotionally committed to someone who is choosing another relationship. That is not friendship. That is silent suffering. You can say, I respect you, but friendship is not healthy for me because my feelings are different. I need distance. That is honest. You do not owe access simply because she wants to feel less guilty about leaving. Your healing matters too. Now, she may accuse you of being immature. She may say, if you really cared, you would still be there for me. Do not let guilt turn you into a backup. Caring about someone does not require accepting every role they offer. You can care from a distance. You can wish her well without listening to the details of her new relationship. You can forgive without remaining available. A boundary is not hatred, it is an honest recognition of what you can participate in without destroying your peace. If she wanted your continued emotional closeness, she had the opportunity to choose the relationship. She chose another direction. Let that direction be real. Now, perhaps she tells you she is choosing him because you failed in important ways. Maybe she felt neglected. Maybe you stopped appreciating her. Maybe you lost ambition. Maybe you became controlling. Maybe you broke promises. Maybe you expected loyalty while giving her very little emotional presence. Do not hide behind self respect to avoid accountability. Walking away does not make you automatically right. You may have contributed significantly to the relationship ending. Examine yourself honestly. Where did you become careless? Where did you stop listening? Where did you take her commitment for granted? Where did fear become control? Where did comfort become laziness? What did she communicate that you dismissed? These questions matter. But accountability does not mean competing with the man she chose. You can recognize your mistakes without begging for another chance. You can apologize without turning the apology into a sales pitch. You can say, I understand where I failed you. I take responsibility and I am working on those things regardless of what happens between us. Then let her decision stand. Do not say, I admitted my mistake, so now you owe me another chance. An apology does not purchase access. Growth does not force reconciliation. She may be correct that the relationship had serious problems and still handle the ending badly. Both truths can exist. You may need to change and you may still need to walk away. Real growth continues even when she never sees it. If you train only so she compares your new body with his, she still controls you. If you build money only so she regrets choosing him, she still controls you. If every achievement is imagined through her reaction, your life is still being performed for an absent audience. Changed because your future needs a better man. Changed because you refuse to repeat the same mistakes. Change because whether she returns or not, you must continue living with yourself. That is where transformation becomes real. Now imagine she chose him because the new connection felt easier. He had no difficult history with her. No accumulated arguments, no unresolved disappointments. Everything felt exciting, light, fresh. She compared the beginning with him to the most damaged stage of the relationship with you. That comparison was never fair. But you do not need to explain that every new connection eventually meets ordinary life. Habits appear, differences emerge, excitement becomes familiar. Maybe their relationship survives and becomes strong, maybe it does not. You cannot build your healing around either outcome. If you spend every day hoping the new relationship fails, their relationship still controls your future. You have given your peace to events happening inside a life that is no longer yours. Release it. He may treat her well, accept that possibility. Uh, she may be happier, accept that possibility too. Her happiness does not prove your worthlessness. Two people can be wrong for each other without either person being worthless. Sometimes a relationship ends because one person behaved badly. sometimes because both did, sometimes because compatibility was never strong enough, sometimes because timing, maturity, or personal direction changed. Do not reduce your entire value to whether she builds something successful with another man. Her future is not your final grade. Your responsibility is what you become after the loss. Now, why did you dodge years of pain? Because a person who must repeatedly compare you with alternatives may keep you trapped inside uncertainty. Even if she chooses you again, you may spend years fearing the next comparison. You may overperform to maintain your position. You may tolerate disrespect because you remember how close you came to losing her. You may become afraid to express needs, afraid to disagree, afraid to be unavailable. You start managing her attraction instead of participating honestly in the relationship. You calculate every message, every boundary, every emotional reaction. You stop being yourself because yourself once appeared replaceable. That is exhausting. Love should require effort, but it should not require permanent auditioning. You should improve as a partner. But you should not live as though one imperfect week will cause the person beside you to begin reviewing other candidates. Security does not mean nobody can ever leave. It means both people are choosing the relationship clearly enough to address problems before turning toward alternatives. If her response to dissatisfaction is replacing you instead of communicating with you, you may have avoided years of instability. If she used another man to test your effort, you avoided years of emotional games. If she wanted you to compete, you avoided years of proving. If she wanted the benefits of both men, you avoided years of triangulation. If she genuinely preferred him, you avoided years with someone whose heart was moving elsewhere. Every version hurts now, but each may have hurt much more later. Pain today can be the price of avoiding deeper damage tomorrow. That does not make the present easy. You may still wake up thinking about her. You may still imagine what they are doing. You may still compare yourself. You may still feel humiliated that the woman who once chose you now appears happier with somebody else. Pain does not disappear simply because walking away was correct. A good decision can still break your heart. Do not interpret grief as evidence that you should return. Missing someone does not mean the situation was healthy. Love can remain after trust ends. Attachment can remain after compatibility becomes impossible. You can want her while knowing that accepting the triangle would damage you. That is the difficult work of emotional maturity, holding two truths at once. I love her, and I cannot remain available under these conditions. I miss her, and contacting her would restart my suffering. I made mistakes, and I still do not deserve to compete for basic commitment. Both truths can exist. Now prepare for the late night moment. During the day, you feel strong. You tell yourself she made her choice. You work, you train, you avoid looking. Then night arrives, the room becomes quiet. You imagine the two of them together. Your mind begins showing you scenes you have never witnessed. You remember the beginning of your relationship, the way she once looked at you, the promises, the plans. You wonder whether you gave up too easily. Maybe she wanted you to fight. Maybe she expected you to prove your love. Maybe one final message would remind her of what the two of you had. You open the conversation, you type, I hope you made the right choice. Delete it. You type, he will never understand you like I do. Delete that too. Then you type something softer. I hope you're doing okay. It looks innocent, but beneath the message is the real request. Please tell me I still matter. Please tell me you are unsure. Please give me a reason to remain emotionally attached. Before you send anything, ask yourself one question. Would I still send this if I knew she would show the message to him and never respond? If the answer is no, you are not reaching out because communication is necessary. You are reaching for emotional relief, and relief received from her will be temporary. If she responds warmly, hope will return before reality changes. If she responds coldly, the wound becomes deeper. If she ignores you, you feel rejected again. Do not hand her decision the power to destroy another night. Put the phone down, walk, drink water, route the message privately. Pray if faith is part of your life to sleep before making an emotional decision. The urge will rise. Then it will fall. You do not need to obey every feeling. You can miss her without contacting her. You can feel jealous without investigating. You can love her without standing inside her new relationship. You can regret your mistakes without competing for another chance. That is emotional control. Now, what if she contacts you? Maybe days pass. maybe months, then her name appears. I've been thinking about you. I miss you. I think I made a mistake. Your heart may move faster than your judgment. This is the moment you imagined. The moment that seems to prove you were always the right choice. Slow down. Her return does not automatically mean the triangle is over. First, determine whether she is still involved with him. If she is, do not become the secret conversation. Do not listen while she compares the two of you. Do not accept emotional intimacy behind his back. You can say, I respect you, but I am not going to discuss us while you are in another relationship. If you become fully available and want a clear conversation, you can contact me then. That is enough. Do not tell her to leave him. Do not pressure her. Do not compete. The decision must be hers, and while she makes it, your life continues. You do not wait beside the phone. If she becomes fully available and asks to talk, listen. But do not immediately restore the relationship because rejection has finally been reversed. Ask what changed. Why did she choose him? Why is she returning? What has she understood? Does she accept responsibility for placing you in a triangle? Can she acknowledge the damage without blaming everything on confusion? Is she returning because she clearly wants you or because the other relationship disappointed her? You do not need to accuse her. Time will reveal the answer. A sincere return can handle boundaries. A temporary return demands instant access. A sincere return understands that trust must be rebuilt. A temporary return says, if you loved me, you would forget everything. A sincere return discusses difficult truths. A temporary return wants to move directly into comfort. A sincere return remains consistent after she knows you still care. A temporary return loses interest once loneliness disappears. Watch behavior. Trust should grow at the speed of evidence, not at the speed of your relief. You may want to hear that choosing him was the biggest mistake of her life. That sentence may satisfy your ego, but ego satisfaction is not relationship repair. The question is not whether she regrets him. The question is whether she has become capable of choosing and protecting a relationship with you. Has her communication changed? Has your behavior changed? Can both of you discuss dissatisfaction without introducing another person? Can trust exist again without surveillance? Can you forgive without using the past as a weapon in every argument? Can she accept transparency without treating it as punishment? These are difficult questions. Love alone does not answer them. If the answer is no, her return may create another painful cycle. She comes back. You feel victorious. The relationship becomes warm. Then ordinary life returns. Your distrust appears. Her defensiveness appears. You mention what happened. She says you should be over it. You become suspicious. She feels trapped. Eventually, somebody leaves again. Restarting is easy compared with rebuilding. Do not confuse the two. Sometimes the wisest response to her return is still no, not because you hate her, because the relationship would require more trust than you can honestly give. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still understand that the relationship has ended. You can release anger without restoring access. You can wish her well without volunteering for another attempt. That decision may be painful, but peace sometimes requires accepting that love cannot repair every form of damage. Now, here is your 7 day reset. For 7 days, stop gathering information about her choice. Do not check her profile. Do not check his profile. Do not ask mutual friends whether they are happy. Do not search for signs that their relationship is weakening. Do not post another woman to create jealousy. Do not send indirect quotes. Do not reread old conversations after midnight. Do not make emotional decisions while angry, lonely, or exhausted. On the first day, remove the easiest triggers, mute accounts, archive conversations, tell trusted friends you do not want updates. You are not running from reality. You are refusing unnecessary exposure to information that keeps reopening the wound. On the second day, write the complete truth about the relationship. What was beautiful? What was unhealthy? What did she do? What did you do? What warning signs did you ignore? What would remaining in the triangle have cost you? Write what your emotions keep trying to forget. On the third day, return to physical discipline. Train, walk, eat properly, see. Do not create a revenge transformation. Your body is not a billboard directed toward her regret. Build strength because pain has been controlling your energy. On the fourth day, rebuild your work and money. Choose one difficult responsibility. Complete it. Set one financial target. Every hour spent studying their relationship is an hour removed from your future. Take the hour back. On the fifth day, define your standards. No triangles, no secret emotional relationships. No remaining available while someone explores another option. Clear communication, mutual effort, faithfulness, respect. Then write your responsibilities. You must communicate dissatisfaction to. You must remain loyal to. You must not use jealousy as a weapon. Standards apply in both directions. On the sixth day, reconnect with people who remind you that your identity is larger than romance, family, friends, mentors. People you may have neglected while the relationship consumed your attention. On the seventh day, choose one promise you will keep for 30 days. No checking, a consistent training schedule, a protected work block, a sleep routine, a financial commitment. Then keep it. Every kept promise rebuilds self trust. Confidence does not come from believing she will return. Confidence comes from knowing her choice cannot make you abandon your own life. Now ask yourself the hardest question. Do you truly want her back, or do you want to defeat the rejection? Do you miss her character, or do you miss being the man she selected? Would you still want her if no other man existed in the story? Or has competition made her feel more valuable because losing became real? Sometimes you are not fighting for love, you are fighting for status. You want her to return and declare that you were better. You believe being chosen over him will restore your confidence, but confidence based on winning a comparison disappears when another comparison appears. You need a value that does not depend on being selected over someone else. A value built through discipline, character, honesty, purpose, the way you treat people, the way you keep your word, the way you remain grounded when life does not choose the outcome you wanted. That kind of value cannot be taken by another man. He can receive the relationship. He cannot take your character unless you surrender it through jealousy, obsession, revenge, and self destruction. Do not give him that power. And do not turn your pain into hatred toward women. One person's decision is not proof that every woman will replace you. Do not punish the next person with suspicion. Do not become controlling. Do not create tests. Do not keep one foot outside every relationship because you are afraid of being hurt again. That is not strength. That is pain wearing armor. A mature man learns without destroying his ability to love. He watches patterns earlier. He communicates problems sooner. He refuses triangles immediately. He does not ignore disrespect because attraction is strong. He remains warm, but he becomes more selective. He remains loyal, but only where loyalty is mutual. He understands that vulnerability includes risk, but vulnerability does not require self abandonment, so let her choose him. Let the decision become complete. Do not remain her emotional backup. Do not compete. Do not insult him. Do not wait for their failure. Do not turn your growth into a performance aimed at her regret. Accept what the choice revealed. Maybe she genuinely believes he fits her better. Maybe she was chasing excitement. Maybe she was afraid of intimacy. Maybe your relationship had problems neither of you handled well. Maybe she will regret it. Maybe she will not. You do not control the conclusion. You control what you do with the information. If she remains with him, respect the boundary and build your life. If she contacts you secretly, refuse the triangle. If she becomes available and returns with accountability, evaluate slowly. If she returns only because she is lonely, protect your access. If she remains confused, refuse the waiting room. If she never returns, continue moving because the deepest truth is this: you did not lose because she chose him. You would lose only if her choice convinced you to stop choosing yourself. Maybe you lost a relationship, maybe you lost a future you imagined, but you may also have avoided years of comparison, mistrust, chasing, and emotional uncertainty. The pain you feel today may be protecting you from a life where you repeatedly had to prove that you deserve to stay. Let her choose him, then choose peace, choose discipline, choose clarity. Choose a future in which love is mutual enough that another person does not need a third option to understand your value.